Hi everyone, this film is about insomnia on Lithium. I've talked about my sleep routine before, so I'll pop those films up on the top corner there for you to look at those. I'll be talking in more detail in those ones. Because generally, even on Lithium, I had a pretty good sleep pattern and it didn't really become irregular very often. But I kind of picked out certain things that I realised, okay, that's what stopped me from sleeping that night. That's what stopped me from sleeping that night. So I've written down a few things, and if you don't know why you have nights when you don't sleep, then it might be good for you to kind of listen to this film and see if you can kind of look at what you've eaten, what you've drunk, what you've done that day, what your mental health, what that kind of your mental space has been like that day. Then that might help you figure out a way to sleep better in the future, which I think is always good to try and work out if you do have sleeping problems, because when there are nights when you don't sleep well, then you really don't function as well the next day, and you can get down more easily, you can get anxious more easily, you can get kind of everything feels like it's on top of you more easily, you get more overwhelmed more easily, yeah, you might fall into depression more easily. So sleep is really, really important. So the first one I'm going to talk about is, let's see, salt. Me and my husband both have the same issue. He isn't on any psychiatric medication, but if we both have some refined salt, so that's in like processed food, like table salt, you know, with like the chemical salt, the kind of not the really natural coarse salt. It still does it a little bit for me to stop me from sleeping, but much less so. Like literally we don't cook with any salt, and usually dinner time, if I were to have a bit of salt on my food, I've got pink Himalayan salt or this kind of grey rock salt from the north of France. I've forgotten its name here, but it's very like unprocessed basically, and that has much less of an effect. But if you have refined salt very close to bedtime, I find that it kind of, you close your eyes and your eyes are like flickering and your brain feels like it's really speedy and you can't really slow down or stop your thinking, and it's like, why can't I stop thinking? Why can't I settle? Why can't I relax? Why can't I just sleep? And you know, Robin and I will be talking, be like, did we have salt in our dinner? Did we have salt before dinner? What happened? Da, 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 da. You know, so we try and work it out. And lo and behold, usually we have, and that's why we're still, you know, talking an hour later or something. So yeah, so that's number one. I could do this, in fact, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 reasons why you might get insomnia while on Lithium. That maybe is a better title. Anyway, let's carry on. The next one is very similar to salt, and that's refined sugar. It kind of gives you a different feeling when you're trying to close your eyes and fall asleep than salt does. But it's still very noticeable that basically you're quite kind of speedy and not ready to sleep when you've had refined sugar. It just kind of keeps your heart pumping and makes you feel like you need to move around, and it's very hard to settle. So that's another thing. Don't have like really sugary desserts after dinner, unless you're going to be up for a while longer, and you know that you can, you know, that your body can find its new balance and balance out its sugar levels before you go to sleep. Now chocolate would be the same for me, because chocolate is caffeine. I've already talked about alcohol and coffee in other films. I'll pop that up here. But yeah, chocolate's often in desserts. People might have hot chocolate before bed, and all of these things, again, for me, make my heart thump and make me feel for a number of hours afterwards, sometimes like 2 to 4 hours, maybe more, depends on how strong the chocolate was. Just really on a different wavelength. Makes me really speedy and stops me from sleeping. Another thing which maybe you might not think of, but excitement. So if I've just got some new news about something that's like super exciting, or if there's something I'm going to do the next day and I'm really excited about that, or I've had a really exciting day and I haven't yet calmed down from that, anything like around a lot of excitement, it might make me kind of not be able to kind of settle and calm down and find that kind of gentleness before sleep. And it might take me a while lying down, tossing and turning before I fall asleep. Sometimes I have a similar thing for anticipation for the next day. So if, for example, like I've got a job interview, or I've got a new yoga class with different people that I don't know. What else? I don't know, I'm doing some kind of event with people, or something different that I don't normally do, or I'm going to the city and I don't know, maybe I haven't fully organised my train trip or various different things for the day, then that kind of anticipation might stop me from sleeping for quite a while. But what I'm very good at now is making sure that my train trip's organised. I know exactly what time I have to get up and what time I have to leave the house, so that I'm on time and prepared, that I've got my money and my train tickets, and I've got my bag packed, my food's already made in a lunchbox, maybe sometimes I even get out my breakfast things and the pan ready to make my porridge. So basically, I don't have that feeling of anticipation, or that I'm or anxious that I'm not going to get it all done in time before I have to leave or something. So it's quite easy to remove that one and make sure you have a good night's sleep before a kind of important day the next day. And another one that some of you might have already realised is the full moon or the new moon. I speak to various people and they often say that they don't sleep as well on the full moon or the new moon. Mostly people notice it on the full moon. And it would only really stop me from sleeping 1 or 2 hours more than usual. So if I go to bed at like 10:30, it might be like midnight or half midnight, and I'm just like, oh, why aren't I asleep? I usually know when the full moon's coming. But yeah, so it just has a kind of a different atmosphere in the air. The nighttime feels different. There's obviously a lot more light in the sky, and that changes things. The animals or different noises outside, and yeah, so that might affect you. Quite a lot of people get affected by the full or the dark moon. And then another one is worry. So if you're anxious, if you're worried about something, if you're mulling something over in your head over and over again, and you've got this kind of stuck record thing going on, and you're like pondering over something for a really long time, and it's just like stuck there, or you've got this I don't know how you'd like to go ahead with something in the future, or what you'd like to say or do, or what have you done in the past, that day or the week before or year before. Some people hold on to their worry for a really long time. I find a good technique for that is writing things down in a diary like this. Just have it near your bed, and write stuff down just to get it out, get it on the page, and then it's not like your head has to keep remembering something if it feels like it needs to. You can just put it down, put it to one side, and then that quite often can help solve the problem and help you go to sleep easier and better. So yeah, there's a number of different things. So if there's anything there you're like, oh yeah, maybe that's me too. Well, you can eliminate those drinks, those foods. You can eliminate your anticipation. You can improve your worry by writing things down. So yeah, I hope that was interesting and hopefully beneficial for you guys that have struggles with sleep. But I tell you that when I had really serious insomnia issues for about 2 years when I was much younger, I had homeopathic treatment with someone who knew me really well, had already helped me with other things, and you know, you don't just go and buy your homeopathic remedy from a shop, not really knowing if it's the right thing for you, because I did take homeopathic remedies during pregnancy from the suggestion from a pregnancy book to help with various things, and I was in a bit of a state, and as soon as I got rid of those homeopathic remedies, I was much better. It kind of took me completely off balance, and it obviously wasn't right for me personally, so I'd be careful about that. So yeah, go to someone who knows what they're doing to give you proper advice and solutions with the right homeopathic dose and pill that they would give you. Oh look, you've got something crawling over the camera. I think it's time to go, and I'll see you on the next film. Bye!